So we have three small pieces of Transformer news to cover today here on Transformer Tuesday. Looks like we have no big pre-orders today. Instead, we have our very first look at one small Transformers Earthspark product that's going to be coming out. We have some updates on Transformers Missing Link and some extras that are going to be coming with the C01 Convoy Toy Edition and C Convoy 02 Anime Edition, as well as an update and some first images of that Transformers Fanbook bonus figure. So let's jump into it here on the Transformers Slag podcast and keep you educated, entertained, and informed on what's going on in our beautiful Transformer world with an educated opinion, I'd like to believe. And we got here today. Let's talk about Transformers Earthspark. This line, man, let me tell you, we just talked about it, how it's having some difficulty in the toy aisle selling. And we see more or less, Hasbro and their investment with this line, pretty much. We saw already with both some of the Warriors and the Deluxes, like the Shockwave and the Seekers, and how they don't really want to invest too much into new tooling, so they're just repainting old Cyberverse toys and stuff like that for specific characters. And unfortunately, we're kind of seeing that again here today, which is a shame because this was a character I would have loved to buy a brand new tooled figure of because I liked how he was in the show. And they pretty much took that Earthspark one-step changer wheeljack that we got earlier last year, which a lot of people were assuming was a straight-up retool of the Age of Extinction Drift. It's actually a brand new tooling, just has a very similar transformation. And they repainted it straight up 100% into one-step changer Earthspark Breakdown. I mean, I loved Breakdown in the show. I thought he was really cool, the whole racing aspect of him. To see that this is his figure, unfortunately, again, to the untrained eye, to someone that's not into cars, I could see how this isn't a big deal. It's a one race car looking guy. They repainted into another race car looking guy. Yeah, you look at that robot mode, and it's very hard to shake the tooling that is Wheeljack with his unique head sculpt with the fins on the side. And, the rest of the body, you could kind of get away with it because it's a one-step. And, yeah, that could be maybe Breakdown's body in the show, too, in that one-step kind of, veneering. But when you get to the robot mode, the alt mode, that's where it's like, yeah, I could see how they could get away with it. Someone like me is going to look at how Wheeljack looked in the show in that very Lancia-inspired alt mode and go, yep, definitely his toy was trying to do that as best they could for the one-step. When you look at now how that mold has to be used for Breakdown and what his design was in the show, his design, if you really had to go deep into the weeds, it's a Pontiac Firebird Trans Am from early 70s, 72, 73, 74, with a sprinkle of modern Mustang for his front grille, just I guess to make the license not too obvious. And then the rear half of his car is clearly that spoiler is late 60s Trans Am 100%, it's there. So, his design, if you squinted your eyes and blinked and blurred, okay, yeah, it could work. So it's a shame just because I loved how he was in the show, and it would be cool if he got a brand new toy, but I guess this is what they're going to do for now, and it's just the safer, easier bet, if anything. The MSRP on this, as of this, it's out of stock right now. This has showed up on Walmart.com, but it's going to be $9.97 USD. So it's probably going to be in that $10 range when it shows up in Target and other locations too. So just keep an eye out for that. For right now, our only Breakdown figure from Transformers Earthspark, but hopefully he'll get a better one. I'd love it if he got a great deluxe. Just come on, Hasbro, give me he's a great character. Give me that for sure. I'd really dig that. So we'll see what happens with it. Let's jump into Transformers Missing Link. It's still the topic since last week. We got some brand new images of the stuff that will be included with both the CO1 Toy Convoy and the CO2 Anime Convoy. We got to see the sticker sheets. They clearly just represent the stuff that represents those versions of having the trailer or not having the trailer. But they mentioned in the Japanese description that they will include some extra stickers that aren't really related to any specific area of the toy, just little bonus stickers that if you want to place it anywhere, just for fun. So that's a nice little touch that they did there. They also showed the trading cards that will be included with them. The original Generation 1 toys in Japan came with bio trading cards, which we did not really have over here. We had the cutout tech spec on the back. That was our jam. They got bio cards with a little hole that you could punch at the top, because in Japan, the culture was that you punch the little hole at the top of the trading card. It was perforated, and then you could string along the cards and hang them in your room, across, much like they would do with pictures, if you've ever seen them do that also. So that's kind of a nice little touch there. They're going to keep that little perforated hole on the trading card, but there's going to be two different styles. So if you buy the CO1 Toy Edition Convoy Optimus Prime, the trading card is going to be in the late 1986-1987 card format style. If you buy the CO2 anime version Optimus Prime, it's going to have the 1985, early 1986 style. So what does that mean by that? So the early trading cards that came with the 1985, 1980, early 1986 G1 Japanese stuff had a pink background. Pretty much all of Season 1, Season 2, and early Season 3 toys, Transformers 2010 as it was called in Japan, had that pink background. Sometime halfway through Transformers 2010 Season 3 in 1986, they switched over to that more traditional format that we're more familiar with today when we see trading cards from that era. And that's the 1986-1987 design used for Transformers 2010 for the second half, Headmasters, and so on. When you get into Master Force, Victory, that they went with the sideways, landscape mode kind of trading card with a different kind of style. But these two here represent that era, and that's pretty awesome. And again, that little perforated hole on them just hammers home back that tradition and continues that whole concept of the missing link, of going back to the past and reinventing it, but still having a little bit of the future here with that brand new art that's used there for Convoy and everything. So I dig it. Nice little touches. I appreciate everything Takara's doing. Let's just hope that price works out for them at the end of the day. And the last thing we're going to cover was something we just talked about recently, and it's that Transformers Fanbook by Kodansha. And we talked about it on the podcast, and I talked about how much of a great deal it was, and it sold out instantly on the Amazon website. But it sold out, but then they posted a whole bunch of new images, and we finally get to see our first look of how the exclusive figure is going to look like. We only had a teaser before that we were talking about. So the core class Kingdom Optimus Prime is now here in clear plastic, looking really snazzy, and that's awesome. I'm very excited about it. Again, for $11.50, you get a guidebook and this figure, which is a steal in my opinion, and I guess the rest of everyone else who heard about this and Japan tend to agree, and it sold out fairly quickly. It also comes with a whole bunch of great story pages. There's going to be a mini comic about the Autobots and the Maximals from the original Beast Wars cartoon meeting together to meet up and fight against the Predacons and the Decepticons. Nice little manga story there. There's going to be a whole bunch of puzzles, a whole bunch of little things here and there, a guide to some of the current toys in 2023, as well as, most importantly, a little story for what this story is with this clear core class Optimus Prime. So a whole bunch of nice stuff there. 36 pages of fun, little guidebook there, along with that exclusive figure. So can't go wrong with that. Ships out August 22nd, 2023, so extremely soon. And if you do want to get it, it is sold out on Amazon Japan, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure it'll show up in other locations at some point, hopefully, and you guys will be able to get your hands on it. Nice little clear core class Optimus Prime. Can't complain with that. And that's it more or less for the news today. Thank you for listening here on the Transformers Slag podcast, and hope to talk to you again real soon, and thank you for listening.